Well, the NGO Gift of the Givers says it's working around the clock to get kidnapped journalist Shiraaz Mohamed released from captivity. Mahomed was abducted in January 2017 in Syria. The journalist was accused of being a foreign spy in the area. Even though Mahomed's whereabouts are unknown, a video has been released that shows he is still alive. In the video, he is pleading with South African authorities, including the Gift of the Givers, to help secure his release. Now, for more on the story, we are now joined via Skype by the Gift of the Givers founder, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman. Dr. Sooliman, thank you very much indeed for your time. Just give us the latest with regards to this emergence of the video. A great sign, I guess, but what have you learned?
Well, the video high blame. The video has been fantastic, especially to confirm what we believed all this time, that Shiraaz was alive. But more than that, we really had to convince his family. We know how the systems work. We know how the groups work. We have different information telling us Shiraaz is alive. We know that he's alive. But for the family, a visual to see their son or their brother in video form speaking, and the date is the 13th of April, the board that he holds up, was a huge benefit for the family itself.
Dr. Sooliman, just give us, I understand it's a very sensitive issue and when you're dealing with this kind of situation, but in terms of your contacts in Syria, how are you dealing with this matter? How did this video end up coming to you?
That's very strange, you know. For 2 years and 3 months, we were following a whole lot of leads, spoke to a whole lot of people, groups, religious leaders, elders, everyone. But suddenly on the 12th of April, from a source completely unknown to us, we get a message in Arabic, and I can't give you that message right now.
Yes.
But we get that message in Arabic. I get Anas Al-Hamati, my human office manager who released Yolandi Koki, to speak to the guy, to communicate to the guy. The guy says, look, I'm only going to point you in a certain direction. I can't get involved, and speak to somebody else. So we follow the chain. We finally find somebody. The person says, yes, I can help you. So we say it like you, everybody says they can help, but it goes to a dead end and everybody wants money. So we said we want proof of life. So he says proof of life will cost. And we know in recent times, the terror groups have made a decision that they're either not going to make videos or they're going to charge an exorbitant fee for videos. And a few weeks ago, we were told that if we want a proof of life video, it will cost $300,000 US. We told them we're not interested. This guy also said the cost. We said, sorry, we're not interested. Then strangely on Friday night, on the 26th of April at 10 p.m., this video comes through to us from the same guy, giving all those details.
We have this video currently on screen. Dr. Sooliman, just take us through what we're seeing in terms of this video.
Well, it's important in that way, and he mentions that, first of all, it shows that he's alive. It shows he's in good health. It shows that it hasn't really lost weight. It shows that it got a calm sense of mind. It shows that it clearly remembers what he needs and what he wants to say. He asks for the assistance to me first, then the state president and anybody else who can help him. He gives us an idea of his condition, that he is really afraid, and that it indirectly tells us where he is, because it says the Russian bombing is getting closer. There's one specific area of Syria where the Russians are bombing. It confirms that we know who the group is that's holding him. Everybody knows that. And that group has denied that they're holding him. And all that information is now very valuable for us to do what's necessary. Of course, they will send us a message sometime this week to say they want probably ransom money, but we're waiting for that message. But in the meantime, we are busy with other means to try to get him out.
Do you think, Dr. Sooliman, this is all about money?
It's always about money. No matter what I tell you about religion and, good-naturedness and nobleness, it's all lies. It's only about money. It's a business.
When you watch this video, and you have experienced similar videos before, is the person being told what to say, do you think?
No. And they always tell you to say what you want to say. You can't say who the group is. You can't give your location. You can't give any details about the group. But from your heart, you can speak whatever you want to speak. Because in their mind, you need to say what will bring them money. So whatever you say is going to bring them money, they're quite fine with that.
Yeah. I understand that Shiraaz Mohamed was abducted in 2017, in January 2017. Just give us a sense of what he was doing in the area.
He went there just a few days previously, around the 6th. His aim, he had called me earlier. I don't actually know Shiraaz Mohamed, strangely enough. I've never met him. But I remember recalling him calling me a few times when I went to Syria in 2012, that he wanted to join our teams. But of course, we were already full. And then in 2017, when it looked a little safer, my teams made arrangements in Syria to allow him to come. And he came for one purpose only. And what he has done before, he's been to Afghanistan, he's been to Gaza, he's been to areas where he documents by pictures and videos the difficulty of people in challenging circumstances. And he freelances for a lot of international media, and his aim was to tell the story of the Syrian tragedy. So he took pictures in our hospital. He went to the camps, the refugee camps, to the orphanages, to schools. He took all those pictures over 3 or 4 days, and on the 10th of January, by the afternoon, he got ready to leave, and he left for the Turkish border. It was somewhere along the line between the hospital and the Turkish border, where he was stopped by 2 cars. 8 people armed with guns came out, pushed him into another car with my staff from the hospital, and took him to a certain point. My staff asked, what are you going to do with him? They said, no, we've heard there's some misunderstanding. We want to clear the misunderstanding. We didn't know what misunderstanding they were talking about. We want to clear the misunderstanding, and within 48 hours, we'll bring him back to your hospital. And that was the last of what we heard.
Yeah, this first proof of life video that we've seen must come as a great relief for family and friends of Shiraaz Mohamed. Have you been in contact with them? What are they saying?
Well, I'm only in touch with his family. It's a very small conservative family, a mother, 2 sisters and a brother. I'm in communication for them every week, virtually every other day for the last 2 years and 3 months. We've met them on several occasions, but they told me 2 things. They said they are overjoyed, they are ecstatic, but at the same time they are very emotional to see their brother after such a long time in picture form. They also said they keep praying to God Almighty to help them. They're thankful that we have this video. It gives them increased hope that we can get Shiraaz home, but at the same time, they are living in anxiety and fear because of what he has said in the video.
I'm just looking at a statement now from the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. They have noted this media statement as well as the video release, but they will not be giving any further media interviews, basically because of the sensitivity of this matter. Are you in contact with DIRCO?
Yes, I always work with DIRCO. We have a relationship for 27 years. And in the time of hostages from Yolani Koki, Stephen McGowan, Johan Gustafsson, Christoph Wortmann has been taken, Gerko van Deventer, who was taken in Libya, and others. I inform them all the time, the consular services. And recently I even discussed it with the minister, the new minister in the Sulu. So yes, DIRCOs are very aware of what's going on. We feed them information all the time.
You know, Dr. Sooliman, you've traveled, no doubt, with your team the length and breadth of this globe. You've been to some pretty volatile areas. I've traveled with you to Libya in the recent past. Just tell us about the situation for aid workers as well as journalists in these volatile areas. How dangerous is it for them?
You know, it's very, very dangerous because in a war situation, people are not thinking clearly. They're paranoid all the time. That paranoia fuels resentment, it fuels antagonism to anyone. If they perceive that you're taking media footage against them, it's a problem. If they perceive the aid worker is helping the other side, it's a problem. Like when we went to Syria, it's a minefield. There's so many different groups. And if you perceive helping one group above the other, you are an enemy to all groups. You're an enemy to every party. And the way you broker your deals, well, not your deals, there's no deal here. It's the way you conduct yourself, the way you operate in the area.
Dr. Sooliman, let's just shift focus a bit and shift our attention to Mozambique. We understand the situation there is grave. What's your understanding about the current situation? Aid agencies are apparently struggling to reach survivors. What do you know?
From what I've been told, from the feedback in the area itself, that I've been communicating from them since Thursday, since the cyclone struck. And on that Thursday at 1 o'clock, all communication and all electricity was down in the Cabo Delgado area. It was down in Pemba. I've been in touch with the advisor of the health ministry. I've been in touch with people I've met there, and they all say the same thing. They don't have, it's difficult to communicate to the area, but some pictures were sent to us where the water levels were at ankle level, knee level, and rising, but the real rain is on its way now. The danger is what's going to happen between now and on Wednesday, where they expect huge deluge of rain. And when that happens, it's going to be a major, major problem, and we're on standby for that. But of course, we can't interact, we can't intervene unless we get there's an international call for assistance made by the Mozambican president. And we have rescue teams on standby. We've prepared for helicopters in Mozambique itself. And, you know, we're on standby, but we're expecting the water level to go higher in the next 48 hours. If that happens, you know, we have to move in, but it has to be a call for the Mozambican president.
What is the immediate threat at the moment, and what is needed from what you've heard?
Well, they've mentioned that the storm was not as bad as they initially expected in the beginning. That's Thursday up till yesterday. They said in some areas many houses were destroyed, but in other areas there was not much destruction. Some schools, some religious places, a bank was destroyed, cars washed away, buildings damaged, but not to the extent what happened in Beira. And then they mentioned that like 5 people had died altogether in the area. But the biggest problem is now in the next 48 hours where they feel, they also mentioned Ibo Island. That island, there was severe destruction in the island, but again, house destruction, you know, people left on the outside. Nobody need assistance in that area in terms of rescue, in terms of water rescue. We now will wait in between today and tomorrow to see how much rain comes. My geologist has said the rain is going to be massive. He said the water level is going to be huge, not anything that everybody has ever seen or has expected. And that's the problem. And we now have to follow it up. But of course, we can't get feedback because they can't get access to the area. They have no communication to the area themselves. So we don't know what we're going to do. I hope it's not another Beira type of situation where it took 3.5 days before anybody could get communication, and people were in a great need of water rescue at that time, and many people got washed away because nobody could get to them in time.
Yeah, it's a tragic situation there. If you do get further updates, Dr. Sooliman, please come back to us. We'll put you on there, give us the latest with regards to the situation in Mozambique, as well as Shiraaz Mohamed. Thank you very much indeed for your time, Doctor.